E.N.D here. Finally, the biggest wedding in Magic the Gathering history is on. Have you got an invite? I didn't, but it's okay. I wasn't looking forward to beat the special desert. Let's start looking at the cards spoiled today. Day 1 for the spoilers of Innistrad Crimson Vow. And let me start with the rare land cycle, the enemy slow lands, a continuation of Innistrad Midnight Hunt land cycle. All of them will enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands, and all of them will tap for one of the enemy colors. Voldaren Estate, it's a rare land, tap for 1 colorless. Tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast vampire spells. 5. Tap, create a blood token. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each vampire you control. What is a blood token? A blood token is a token artifact which has 1 tap, discard a card, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. Voldaren Bloodcaster for 1 and 1 black, it's a 2/1 vampire wizard. It has flying. Whenever it or another non-token creature you control dies, create a blood token. Whenever you create a blood token, if you control 5 or more blood tokens, transform it. And it transforms into Blood Bat Summoner. It's a vampire wizard, 3/3 flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target blood token you control becomes a 2/2 black bat creature with flying and haste in addition to its other types. Dorothea Vengeful Victim for 1 white and 1 blue, it's a legendary creature, it's a spirit, it's a 4/4 flying. Whenever it attacks or blocks, sacrifice it at end of combat with Disturb for 1 white and 1 blue, which means that if this creature is in your graveyard, you can pay the Disturb cost and you will get Dorothea Retribution. Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, create a 4/4 white spirit creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice it at the end of combat. Demonic Bargain for 2 and 1 black, it's a sorcery. Exile the top 13 cards of your library, then search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. You will notice that the number 13 will have a recurrence in this set. Overcharge Amalgam for 2 and 2 blue, it's a 3/3 zombie horror, 4 flesh and flying. It has also exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When it exploits a creature, counter target spell, activated ability or triggered ability. Dig Up for 1 green, it's a sorcery. It has Cleave, which is a new mechanic in Crimson Vow. For 1, 2 black and 1 green, you may cast the spell for its Cleave cost. If you do, remove the words in the square brackets. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. But if you cast Dig Up for its Cleave cost, you will have search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Wedding Announcement for 2 and 1 white, it's an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on Wedding Announcement. If you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card, otherwise create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then, if it has 3 or more invitation counters on it, transform it. And it transforms into Wedding Festivity. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Anya, Maid of Dishonor. I like what they did here. Instead of Maid of Honor, they made a Maid of Dishonor. For 2, 1 black and 1 red, it's a 4/5 vampire. Whenever it and or 1 or more other vampires enters the battlefield under your control, create a blood token. This ability triggers only once each turn. 2. Sacrifice another creature or a blood token. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Change of Fortune for 3 and 1 red. Discard your hand, then draw a card for each card you discarded this turn. Dominating Vampire for 1 and 2 red, it's a 3/3. It's a vampire. Enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of vampires you control until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Gronlock the Omnivore for 2, 1 green and 1 blue, it's a 3/3. Legendary creature frog. Whenever a frog you control attacks military cards. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croc counter on it. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards you own in exile with croc counters on them. By invitation only, 3 and 2 white, it's a sorcery. Choose a number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. I told you that the number 13 will have a recurrence in this set. Torrent's Fist of the Angels for 1, 1 green and 1 white, it's a 2/2 legendary creature human cleric. It has training, which means that whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human soldier creature token with training. And finally, straight from the original Innistrad block, Thalia, Guardian of Traben. Yes, Thalia, Guardian of Traben will get a reprint in Crimson Vow. And we don't got only 1 version, but 2 versions. In the Eternal Night Showcase. It's a pity because Thalia, Guardian of Traben was also part of a secret lair drop. Mythic cards, Savior of Olembok for 1 and 2 white, it's a 1/2. It has training. Training is a new mechanic introduced in Crimson Vow, which means that whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When it trains, exile up to one other target creature from the battlefield or creature cards from a graveyard. When it leaves the battlefield, put the exiled cards on the battlefield under their owner's control. Volatile Arsonist for 3 and 2 red, it's a 4/4, it's a human werewolf, therefore werewolves are getting some spicy cards in this set. Menace and Haste, whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to each of up to 1 target creature, player or planeswalker. And has Daybound, which means that when it's day, it's Volatile Arsonist, when it's night, it's Dire Strain Anarchist. It's a 5/5, it's a werewolf, Menace and Haste, whenever it attacks, it deals 2 damage to each to up to 1 target creature, player or planeswalker. Now it's the turn of the Bride, Olivia Crimson Bride. 4, 1 black and 1 red, it's a 3/4 flying and haste. Whenever it attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and attacking it gains. When you don't control a legendary vampire, exile this creature. We have 2 versions for Olivia, the normal version and the Fang Frame version. Very nice card in my opinion. Next one, Sorin the Mirthless. 2 and 2 black, it's a planeswalker. 4 loyalty counter, +1. Look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card and put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. -2, create a 2/3 black vampire creature token with flying and lifelink. -7, Sorin the Mirthless deals 13 damage to any target, you gain 13 life. We have 3 versions of this card, regular, borderless and the Fang Frame version. I want to end this video with a series, Dracula series. These are box stoppers, which means that you can find one in your booster box. They are very similar to what Wizard of the Coast did in Ikoria with the Godzilla series. They are a representation of an actual card in the set, and honestly, they look gorgeous. The last card in the spoiler is Castle Dracula. This is the buy a box promo. That was the last card in this particular spoiler, day 1 of the spoilers of Innistrad Crimson Vow. Tune in tomorrow for more and more spoilers about this vampire set, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.